we have Coltsfoot. This is Tussilago farfara. And Coltsfoot, you know, used to be one of my go-to remedies for kids with coughs, because it's really gentle, really mild, nice, you know, what's called antitussive. Until information probably, a good 30 years ago started coming out showing that Coltsfoot leaves and the flowers contain pyrrolizidine alkaloids. And again, we know that the PAs are most damaging to fetuses in young children. And so I have stopped using, I probably stopped 30 years ago or more, using Coltsfoot for kids for coughs. You know, in Germany, where they have a pretty sensible drug policy and herbs are still used routinely, the recommendation is for adults, if they're going to use Coltsfoot, not to use it more than 26 days out of a year. And that's reasonable. Now, what I would say about this is the PAs in here, there's not a lot of them. But the ones that are in here are what we'll call intermediate, in the sense that there's the really toxic PAs, the fairly non-toxic PAs, and then there's the ones in the middle. So it's got fairly low doses, but the PAs in here are some of the ones in the middle, so they're not, if it had really low amounts of the really non-toxic PAs or the barely toxic PAs, I'd be much less concerned. But they're there. And it probably varies from, you know, plant to plant, location to location. But, you know, again, we want to be cautious. You know, we don't want to just say, oh, it's an herb, it's natural. The problem with PA toxicity is PAs cause cumulative liver damage. It could take 10 years, 20 years, 30 years to show up. So do you really want to be the person who's responsible for somebody eventually developing liver damage? And the only way to treat what used to be called veno-occlusive disease, VOD, it's now called SOS, sinusoidal obstruction syndrome. The only way to treat it is a liver transplant. So just, you know, it's like, the good news is we have other mild cough remedies like fennel seed and other things like that, and mullein leaf, that I don't actually need this plant. But it actually is one of the first medicinal plants I ever learned to identify.